It is post-election. It's actually election, what, night? Is that what you call it right now? 8:49 on Wednesday, post-election day. An official day name for post-election. The point is, the results are in. We know who our next president is going to be for the next 4 years, and I've decided that today, more than anything, I want to eat digital breakfast. We're going to put it on our tab. That is why we're playing Put It On My Tab. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, JLW. Today we're taking on Put It On My Tab. That's it. That's all I know. Put it on my tab. I'm hoping I'm not missing some words. Ah, there we go. Oh, finally. Took you long enough. The voice snaps you awake, bringing your surroundings into clear focus. Voices chattering amongst themselves, clicking and clanking here and there. Blurs of white and red swiftly flitting here and there. Hands always full. Noises, chaos, movements that made your head spin. The aromas, hot oil, fried meat in the air. The faint warmth coming from somewhere to your left. Not your right, but to your, hey, what's going on? And most importantly, the woman sitting across from you. You rub your forehead, fighting back a pounding headache from the sudden rush of sensations or from that binger of way too many tequila shots. Not that I would know what that feels like. Take your time. I know it's a lot to take in. I don't think this is a dating game. I'm pretty sure it's not a dating game. I don't know what the game is about though, so I could be wrong and it could 100% be a dating game. That's putting it lightly. You hear a bell ding in the background and you shake your head. A blur wishes by you and an inviting aroma tickles your stomach. Is this a diner? Yep, got it in one. I'm pretty damn smart. The woman nods to you curtly. Do you remember how you got here? I'm just happy that I remember this is a diner. She sits back a little, watching you intently, waiting for an answer. What can you even say, really? I can say I remember that this was a diner. Let's be proud of that. How about that? Get dark outside? What happened? Why did it just get dark outside? Do you want something from me? What? Oh, okay. You don't know. It's all a scrambled mess right now. Bits and pieces all over the place. Images, sounds, feelings. The more you think about it, the more it makes your head spin. Seeing your distress, she sighs. Nothing, huh? Do you remember coming in here today at least? Coming in here? Okay, that's something concrete to focus on. You can work with that. You sift through your memory, trying to recall, thinking, I'm thinking hard, thinking all the way back. Do I think? Walking down the block, entering through a door, sitting down. Those are diner things, right? That's how this works, right? I'm asking you, right? Nothing comes back, no matter how hard you try to recall it. You glance out the window, hoping the surroundings might help, but damn, it's too damn bright. But to your surprise, you can't identify much of anything outside, just the hazy light streaming through the window. But beyond that, nothing. An empty void, a distinct gap in your memory leading up to this point. She nods. All right, I get it. Fair enough. We should have enough time. I remember that it's a diner. As if on cue, a waiter saunters up to the table. What can I get you to drink over here? Oh, a coffee for me, please. Her reply is instant. It's like she knew what she wanted before she spoke it. And for you? The waiter's looking at you now, expectantly. Don't screw this up. You haven't even considered a menu yet. Were you even given one? What do they have here? What were your choices? Well, it's a diner. We smelled a hot ass fried meat earlier, so I'm imagining there's at least some kind of platter, probably with ham, eggs, sausage. Yeah, let's do that. Whatever your platter is, let's go for that. You've barely been able to give your own thoughts. Take two. You've barely been able to get your own thoughts in order, and now you're on the spot. A lot of pressure. What if she doesn't like me because I ordered the wrong thing? What if she does like me because I ordered the right thing? What will I even do with that? Am I ready for a commitment? I just met her and this diner. Looking around frantically, the pressure builds. Okay. Snap decision time. You've been to diners before. Surely, this can't be that hard. That's what she said. If you could just grab something and pay, that'd work. But, all right, just focus. The drink you'll have. Give me a water as well, please. For them, well, I'll flag you down when they're ready to order. Oh, she said that, not us. I'm glad that she saved us because, oh my God, I was afraid the world was going to if I made the wrong decision. The waiter shoots a glare your way, but nods to her and shuffles off. Instantly, the pressure lets up. You find yourself exhaling. Oh, I was worried. Okay. So we can't exactly take our time here. She looked almost as bothered as you felt after that encounter. What was his deal anyways? What is our deal? Why was ordering breakfast so damn hard? Sorry. A place like this runs off of turning tables. They don't take too kindly to customers who dawdle and never order. Are they really that busy? So far I've only seen you. I didn't even really see our waiter. Yeah, this place gets more business than they know what to do with. They're a well-oiled machine, not your typical sit-down fine dining establishment. The type where you end up spending 3 hours and end up with a tab in the hundreds. So time is money here, and they value both. Eesh, that sounds worse. Maybe things could be worse. But you didn't want to come here either. That you can recall, at least. And yet you're here. Doesn't matter to them now. It seems like she's responding to our inner thoughts or the inner monologue that's happening or the dialogue that's happening outside of our head, like a narrator. So can't you just leave? And go where exactly? If you don't know where you came from, then you can't really get back there, can you? Come on, think, dummy. Wait, is that why you couldn't see anything out the window? Her point is taken, reluctantly. Okay, if you get it, then let's get down to business. Business? You know, your business. You don't think you've ever owned a business. That much you could be sure of at least. We're also not the brightest. I can see why we celebrated knowing this is a diner. She huffs. Don't give me that. You never answered my question. Which question exactly? Oh, right. The pressing one. How did you get here? That is the question. I imagine on my 2 feet, left then right then left. I walk weird. If you're not sure, then just focus on anything you can think of. Any one feeling, emotion, image left in your mind. Latch onto one thing and see where your mind goes. You close your eyes and think, trying to take her advice, trying to find something to hold on to, anything at all. It's dark. You feel cold down to your core. There's a faint light coming from somewhere, but you can't place where. You hear water. Is it raining? Running water. You can't tell clearly enough. Cold. Scared, huh? Okay. That makes sense. Why does that make sense? Did she kidnap us? Why do you know or understand why I was cold and lonely? Only able to only see a little shaft of light coming through to my cell. That's an emotion that's easy to latch onto. It's something. Unfortunately, not all that helpful. Well, that's just rude. You're trying your best here. Who is she talking to? Or who are we talking to? Or who are they talking to? This is a diner. I know. Okay, let's try this. What made you feel so afraid? Can you think of anything? No, you can't. I know it's hard, but you got something, right? So focus on that. Follow the thread. There has to be something there. Okay, let's make it dark beside me again. Woo. And then sa. And then sa, followed by woo. Say it with me. Woo. Sa. Woo. Woo. Sa. You try to focus. Try to clarify. Expand that image in your mind. Try to find a clear detail in this mess. You can see the faces of loved ones. Some long gone. Some simply gone. Blurred faces of people you once called friends when you were younger. This isn't helping, I don't think. People you swore you'd be bonded to for life, simply drifting apart as your world expanded. Vague shadows of people you've passed by through the years, living their own lives, immersed in their own... What the hell just happened? I didn't click anything, it just moved forward. No, you're losing your way here. Oh, y'all moved me forward, that's why I lost. Let's focus. The quiet nights when you were alone with your own thoughts were always unbearable, weren't they? Jesus. At least when you were with her, you could be strong and push it all back. But when there was nothing else but the tick-tock of the clock backing your own thoughts, that was when it weighed the heaviest on your heart. So we're a little bit depressed, I think. I think it's fair to say we might be a little sad. What were you waiting for exactly? What were you dreading? How long could you bear the weight falling on your shoulders? There's something there. A thread just out of sight, waiting to be unraveled. Just a little more, and I'm back. Diner, recognize that's what we're in. Your coffee, ma'am. The waiter returns, breaking your concentration. You're snapped back into focus to see him delivering the woman's coffee and a single glass of water, no ice. This is important. Remember that. Write that down. She nods to him and smiles. He turns to you now. His gaze bores deeply into you. The heavy weight settles over the air around you. You sink into your seat under the scrutiny. Like we've never ordered at a diner before. Now then, are you ready to order? His voice is level and not overtly unkind, but the unspoken expectation was clear. It's time to order. You will order. You swallow hard and try to form the words. Once again, you don't have a menu to read off of. You don't have a clue what this place even sells. But the heavier the weight on your shoulders gets, the more compelled you feel to respond. I thought I ordered water. Okay. What do diners like this sell? Huh? You're not used to this environment, being put on the spot like this, having to make a decision to a person. If only you could just grab something edible and go back. You don't have time for this, but you can't get away from it. Say the first thing that comes to your mind already. You'd like to order. No, we're not. Can you give us just another minute, please? The waiter turns his gaze towards her, but she at least seems unfazed. It's like she's ordered food before or something. It's weird. After what felt like an eternity, the waiter responds. Another minute then. All right. And just like that, he shuffled off. You exhale and slump into your seat, exhausted. Jesus, I couldn't decide if it was the eggs or the bacon. Eggs or the bacon. Do I get them together? Do I get them with hot sauce? Do they add jalapenos? Is that an extra charge? So much choice. You shove your discomfort down as far as possible and try to level yourself. Despite everything else rushing through your head, you can't help but wonder who this stranger even was. Really? You don't know who you are, and you're suddenly concerned with me? Like, it's a fair assessment if I don't know who I am, that the person who just randomly sat with me probably knows something about me or how I got here, right? All right. Think of it this way then. Why was she helping you? Oh, that made her blush. Interesting. Crush, maybe. Okay, fine. She sighs. Huh. You look like you really needed some company. That's all. You see someone passed out alone at a diner, and you just can't stand by and leave them alone. Yeah, no, actually that seems like the perfect place to leave them alone. I don't know too many people that would have came up and talked to, gave company to, or cared for a person passed out alone at a diner. Especially if this is like a Waffle House. Passed out. Well, you don't really remember enough to argue that point. But still, something deep down is telling you that this isn't the whole story. If nothing else, she doesn't seem to mean you any harm. So she can't hear the narrator in her head. If you want a name, then you can call me Chico. She nods to you, and you return the gesture. You attempt to return the introduction as well, but pressure, right, we don't know how to function as a human, so she nods, and we try to nod back. Right. Don't remember your name. Don't worry about it. Not the most important thing right now. Once we get you on the right track, the rest will come back in time. It's a bit of a relief, if you're being honest. There's some kind of path that exists to remembering. Earlier, you came real close to recalling something, didn't you? I saw it on your face. Would you trust the first person that you saw when you woke up from like an amnesiac sleep? You wake up, don't remember anything about yourself, how you got there, can barely remember how to nod, and the first person across from you is trying to help you. Would you trust that person? Because I feel like my default answer is hell no. I would have to, because I'm that lost in the world, but I'm definitely looking at that person like the moment I turn my back, they're going to stab me, or they're looking for something that I have. Oh, right. What was that again? It all seemed to get real fuzzy whenever that waiter stopped by. Don't think too hard about it now. Just think about that emotion you felt. Focus on it. Start there. Pretty sure the emotion was depression, right? Okay. Think back on it. It was raining. Cold. That feeling brewing deep down. Dread, it was. That's right. You were afraid. Of what? What were you afraid of exactly? No, not there. Not yet. Take it slow. Figure out where you are at in this memory. What do you see? I see you in a diner, and then I see the diner and you kind of become translucent, and then I see some lights and some darkness. There's a faint light around you. Water. It is raining. You're out in the rain? You can feel it pelting you, soaking into you. Why are you out in the rain? What's this light? It hovers in the air around you like a thick fog. That sounds almost like a city street corner, if you ask me. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I'll do the guessing around here. I'm the guesser. The lights at night have an almost eerie glow. That would make sense, you suppose. Wait, is she reading your mind? Thank God. I thought it was just me that was gonna notice this. You're thinking out loud, dear. That doesn't make any sense. Because the voice that's talking doesn't even sound like me. Is now the time to be asking these questions? Besides, I need a little thread to nudge things along. So is she Or isn't she? I'm gonna go with yes. Focus. Yes, ma'am. Come on now. Street corner in the rain. No umbrella. What were you doing out there? You didn't want to be there, obviously. People don't just go out in the rain for no reason. Unless you're on Marion in 2003's You Got Served. And then it makes sense to be out in the rain. What was in front of you? It wasn't clear. It was too dark. There was nothing. The memory in front of you was taking shape, sure, but not clearly enough. Here's a thought. What's behind you?
In a horror movie, that'd be terrifying.
Behind? Yeah, and how does it make you feel? What's behind you? The memory in front was coming into focus. But behind you, you think about turning your head to look, but nothing. You won't even budge. Everything freezes up. There's something there, but you can't bring yourself to look. As I thought, there's nothing in front of you, but something you're dreading behind you. What does that mean for you? You tell me. There wasn't anything back there. There was nothing. There was nothing. Nothing but your own thoughts. The lingering dread of not being able to do anything, weighing you down, suffocating you. You couldn't breathe. You couldn't breathe. This was too much. Is the waiter back around? Yep. Are you ready to order now? As if on cue, the waiter arrives, sucking the air out of the space around you. Your chest tightens, and you instinctively look up at him. His face is obscured. You can't place any features of note. Chico, on the other hand, looks annoyed. Not quite. Can you just... I'm afraid I must insist. We were out of time. This is what she had warned you about, wasn't it? Chico sighed, closing her eyes for a beat before replying. I'll take the daily special, if you would. And your companion? Daily special? What even was that? If it was special, it had to be good, right? Eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes. Why is it so hard? Put them down for one, too. Her gaze meets yours. She scowls. Unless we're not ordering food. But then what are we ordering? Very good. I'll put that right in for you then. Well, we're dangerously low on time now. What does that mean, exactly? If that meal comes, it'll be too late. You'll forget all of this. It'll all be over. But, so she is not a stranger who just saw me sitting by myself. She knows what's going on. She narrows her gaze. If you want a chance at all, you need to find what you're missing, and you need to do it quickly. That warning rang in the back of your mind. You had no mind to place precisely why, but some instinct deep down told you to heed it. Where do you even start, though? What's in this breakfast? Should we not be calling the cops? Are they roofing people through the eggs? Think over everything you've worked out so far and tell me the first thing that comes to mind. What is it you regret the most? Oh. Now we're back to making choices. This is a lot easier than picking what I want for breakfast. I regret, regrets. Let's just start from the top, right? Not staying in touch. No matter how hard you try and find the words, nothing else comes. It's less a hazy fog and more a deep void of darkness. Is it Is it gone for good? Is it too late? Your stomach grumbles. Just in time. Ah, that's what was getting your stomach in such a tumble. Your food had arrived. A remarkably pleasant scent, all things considered, yet Chico herself seemed less than pleased. So that's it then. Angry? No, not angry. Disappointed? Perhaps. Resigned? Maybe. You found yourself less bothered by this as the waiter placed your food in front of you. It was drawing you in. You were hungrier than you thought when you woke up. This would surely hit the spot. Do enjoy now. Let me know if you need anything else. I've lost my appetite. Enjoy. Clearly, we did not give her whatever it is she wanted. Looks like she's about to leave, and she slides to the edge of the booth, making to leave. You can't bring yourself to protest. It was nice talking to her, sure, but this... Your stomach grumbles loudly. Farewell. I'll see you again soon. I have no doubt. Well, she's tall. Her smile looks almost sad as she stands up and walks off. Kind of sprinted off, sauntered off, really more than walked. And I'm going unconscious. Probably shouldn't have eaten that breakfast. What did I order? Clearly it was wrong. Put it on my tab. See you again. Soon. Clearly we're missing something. Clearly we didn't give the answer that would make them feel like we should progress, like we didn't deserve to not be roofied. So the only thing I can think is we go back in and try again. So that's what we'll do. Okay, I press fast forward. Okay, if you get it, then let's talk. I feel like that's new. Aren't we talking already? You know what I mean. About you. This is new. This is not, and I haven't gotten to the choices part yet. I was trying to get there. All I did was press fast forward, and suddenly the conversation has changed. She didn't like being fast forwarded. What's there to tell? Where do you even start? You don't remember anything. I don't know. Don't worry. It's a massive task to handle all at once. Take my question as a starting point. How did you get here? But there was nothing earlier. A mess of hazy images and feelings and emotions. Okay then, let's break it down into smaller parts. Focus on anything you can think of, any one feeling, emotion, image left in your mind. Latch onto one thing and see where your mind goes. You close your eyes and think. Trying to take her advice. We've read this before though. Trying to hold on to something. Oh wait, but we haven't seen this spot. You're in a hall of some sort. An open space. Soft voices around you. The lighting is dim and people mill about, admiring framed pictures on the wall here and there. You cast your eyes towards them, but they quickly lose your interest. There's something here though. Something you need to find. Something here you need. But you snap back to the diner. I'm starting to think these buttons at the bottom of the text block need to be used before you can go too deep. That feels odd. What is that place? What is she? Who are we talking to? You can't really place it. Very odd. Okay, let's take it slow then. If you go too far all at once, there's a chance you won't make it back. That is not comforting. Lovely. She smiles in response. Is she trying to comfort you? Don't worry. I'll be right here the whole time. I've got your back. Oh, then it got dark right after you said that. Weird. That's working. Somehow. She's a stranger to you, yet her words bring you some warmth even now. Hits a spot straight in the depths of your heart you hadn't realized was empty until it started to beat again. And the more it starts to beat, the more you find yourself being pulled back in. Back into this dimly lit hall. Your eyes are drawn to a frame on the wall near you, and you walk over towards it. It's a family portrait of all things. 2 adults and 2 children, happily huddled together in a lush green field full of smiles. You don't recognize the people in this picture, and yet that same wound in your heart begins to ache once more. After a few moments of longing, you turn and walk on to the next picture. Not yours. You continue onward. Not yours. Not yours. Where was it? It had to be here, right? Another one. Not yours. Again. Those memories had to be here. They had to be. Your coffee, ma'am. The waiter returns, breaking your concentration. You're snapped back into focus to see him delivering the woman's coffee and a single glass of water. No ice. She nods to him and smiles. He turns to you now. His gaze bores deeply into you. The heavy weight settles over the air around you. You sink into your seat under this scrutiny. Now then, are you ready to order? His voice is level, and we've already been through this. So let's see what happens when we fast forward. Once again, you look over at the stranger across from you, and once again, she's waiting on you to go first. So that's how it is, huh? Well, she did cover for you last time, so may as well. Just focus now and order something. You've been to places like this enough times. You can order something. Now just say something. Come on now. You'd like to order. So this is the history. I just want to see if there's something here that we can still use. Yeah, something here you need. Not highlighted anymore. Okay. All right. That's fine. You'd like to order. No, we're not. Can you give us just another minute, please? The waiter turns his gaze towards her, but she seems at least unfazed. I didn't get to ask before. What did you see in that memory? What did you see? You think back. That's right. Framed pictures of families, happy and smiling together, all with kids of various ages and sizes, some in their homes, some outside, but all happy, all together. And yet you couldn't stop yourself from looking through them. Huh. An art gallery, it almost feels like, full of family photos. Were you perhaps looking for one you recognized? Yes, that had to be it. The source of the ache in your chest, seeing those others. You didn't recognize the place or the people. I see. The other pictures don't seem to mean anything to you personally. Of course you knew that, but they still made you feel so empty. I know. That's an important piece of your puzzle. A thought hits you. Is she reading your mind? Of course I am. Just a peek though, that's all. Okay, we went from her being like, nah, I'm just listening to you think out loud to, yeah, I'm reading, but like just a little bit, don't be worried about that. People do that in this world. What is Chico? Does her name mean something? Only to help you along, I promise. You mull it over for a moment, but your thoughts settle down. He means well. You're willing to believe that. Maybe it's for the best. Been trying to see from the perspective of others, you recall, as hard as it is. Chico takes note of this and nods. Thank you. Now, if I may pry just a little more, I think we're onto something here. What were you looking for, and why was it so hard to find? Why did the happiness of these strangers bring out this dull pain from somewhere deep in your memories? You're here again. Maybe you've always been here. Looking. Hey, things are a little bit more clear. Looking for something lost, not someone, perhaps. Yes, of course. There were always people around you, living happy lives. You always saw them together, and each and every time it reminded you of... There it was. Immediately when you saw it, you knew. This is the face you were looking for. The pain radiating through your chest told you as much. I see no faces. All around me are these empty spaces. A family of 3, parents and sole child between them. All 3 smiling happily. The child is wearing graduation robes. This is a celebration, most certainly. Doesn't look like she's wearing any damn robes. It's like some t-shirt or a dress, a white t-shirt or dress. And yet, the faces of the parents are scratched off. You reach out a hand towards the picture almost instinctively, wanting to touch it, but you pull your hand back. You know you shouldn't. You know you lost that right, but the longing remains. Interesting. Yeah, it was almost like she was wearing what you're wearing, a little bit. Not exactly, because it didn't have a gray collar. More neck collarbone exposure too. Are you ready to order now? As if on cue, the waiter arrives, sucking the air out of the space around you. Your chest tightens and you instinctively look up at him. His face is obscured. You can't place any features of note. Chico, on the other hand, looks annoyed. Not quite. Can you just... I'm afraid I must insist. We were out of time. This is what she had warned you about, wasn't it? What are we most afraid of? I said not letting go. Let's try running away. Okay, well, she ran away. It's okay. It's something to do with we're playing this last section here that we're not doing right. Aha! Not was it? Which one do we even click? I wasn't even really paying attention that well. Miss, I'm an old man now. Oh, we're actually talking too, for that matter. So we just kept going back and back and back. I don't even know if our actual choice matters so much as long as we kept going back. I've made my fair share of mistakes in my life. If there's one I've yet to let go of, it's never apologizing to my daughter. The option we chose was never apologizing, I'm guessing. The moment the thought entered your mind, the pieces began falling into place. Apologizing. We raised a lovely young woman, my wife and I. Strong, smart, proud. As she got older, she started wanting to do more, spread her wings and fly off. I suppose kids do. As she got older, she wanted to do more, spread her wings and fly off, I suppose. Kids do that sort of thing, right? But I wasn't ready for things to change. Change. When do kids hit that rebellious phase? When the rules you put in place to, in your mind, help them start getting challenged. It was frustrating, sure, but ultimately you came back together. Or, as you'd realized over time, she'd come back to you. You were the one who didn't change. It was more than that, wasn't it? He kept growing, kept wanting to live her life. But you didn't change. And as a result, you butted heads. She grew into a strong and proud young woman who stood up for herself, but your own stubborn pride only made things worse. You refused to budge when she grew, and I was an old, stubborn fool, miss. I'll have you know. Was? I presume my time has come, and I've had plenty of time to dwell on that night. The night I said things that I couldn't take back. That couldn't just be hashed out over the dinner table. For a time, I mourned how much she had changed. And then as time passed on, I began to realize that it was me who hadn't. The world was leaving me behind, and I could either just get more bitter, or I could try and understand it. And in time I realized I was well out of line. But at that point it was too late. She'd stopped talking to us years before. I could only carry this regret ever since. We haven't spoken since then. Have you tried to reach out to her? No. I don't have the right to put that on her. If she decides to, I'd welcome it. But it was me who failed her, and I've had to live with that. That feels like he's still not changing then, because if she's the one that has been making the change usually, and he's been remaining the same, waiting for her to come back, then you're still doing the same thing. You've admitted your faults, but now you're not even... The change would be go to your daughter and tell her, I know that I'm wrong, and I'm coming to you now to make things right. I want to be in your life. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not a father. I don't know. Maybe only fathers are qualified to answer that, but that's what I feel like. It's a shame I'll carry to my grave and beyond. I remember it now, and I thank you for it, young lady. But I think it's time for me to get to rest. Thank you for hearing me out, Miss Chico. Of course, but if you'll allow me to be a bit presumptuous, I don't think you have to carry this to your grave. Sorry? If she's willing to hear you out, of course. I think she deserves to hear these words from your own mouth. And if you're truly as remorseful as you come off, an apology might reach her yet. Are we dead? Is that what this is about? It might be too far gone, sure, but you've already accepted that outcome. I have, yes. Then surely you could try, no? For your own conscience and for hers. Are we dead? Are we in a dining room in limbo? Diner in limbo, I should say. You've given me much to think about. Thank you for everything. You're quite welcome. I suppose, then, that I should be going. There's something I still need to do. Good. What is this place? Oh, the waiter is coming. Go on then. Make haste. All right then. Take care, Miss Chieko. And you as well. At the sound of the waiter's footsteps, you slide your way out of the booth, standing up. As she said, you have something to do yet. So you make for the door, opening it, and returning to your life. The waiter approaches Chieko, setting 2 club sandwiches in front of her. So, your friend this time. You're quite pushy today. You know that, Ray? Of course. You know how things go here. Right. Have to keep people moving, I get it. I don't mean ill by it. You're just doing your job. So I'm going to have to ask you to pay for both of these. Of course. Just put it on my tab. I was wondering, right? Because I didn't have a tab. Clearly, I couldn't even make an order, so... Hey, no, I'll see you next. I'll see you next time. In fact, next time is right now because we're going to go to the itchy page to go talk about put it on my tab. Wait, this says continue. What does that mean? Continue what? All right, then time to make a decision. This feeling of confusion, of indecision, it feels familiar. You've done this a lot, you feel like. And there's something you always come back to, but not coming to mind. No time. To drink, you'll have... What is this? I don't remember ever reading this before, so is there more to this game? Whoa! This is new. Emotions, latch onto one thing and see where your mind goes. Close your eyes and think. I have never seen the front door of a house before. You're standing at the front door waiting. Waiting for what? You weren't quite sure. The house in front of you was on the older side, a solid wooden door with side lights on all sides. Just looking at it seems to drain your energy. Your vision blurs a little. Your feet ache. There's chatter coming from the other side of the door faintly. You strain your ears to make it out, but it's too far away. If only you could just... You reach out a hand towards the door slowly. It's right inside, isn't it? Closer. Closer. The doorbell rings. I thought we were done, but there was clearly more that we needed to see. I'm excited to see more of it, so we're going to keep playing. And you're back in that diner once more. The stranger across from you scowls. That's an intriguing image. But the mystery is clear at least. What's behind that door? You think on it, but nothing comes back to you. All right. Let's think about this here. Did you recognize the door you saw in that memory? No. Come to think of it, you didn't. And you didn't find that fact odd whatsoever for some reason. Possibly his daughter's new house? How he would track her down, I don't know. A dream, perhaps, rather than a memory. I've seen it before here. A dream. Your mind can twist and exaggerate your emotions through the imagery that conveys them in curious ways. So, a bit more difficult to interpret, but not impossible. That door means something to you, then. It's still worth exploring that avenue, I think. What does that door mean to you, huh? You try to focus on it. Try to put yourself back in that memory. No, that dream. If you can see what's behind that door, it'll all make sense, right? You're drifting and you're back. Making your way up to this door once more. Again, Voices wave through the door, chattering happily. It's music to your ears. You want to reach out and join them, but your feet are bound by an unfamiliar hesitation. It's vexing. You can't approach, like your feet are covered in cement. All you have to do is open the door, right? You take a deep breath and take that step forward. The door's within reach. It's unlocked. You open the door and you're right back where you started. You still hear the voices behind the door, though they're quieter than before. The disappointment weighs heavy on your shoulders. You reach out a hand to the door once more and... Hey, I wasn't done. Your coffee, ma'am. Hey, no, I wasn't done. I reach out a hand once more. You open the door and... Right back where I started. Reach out again. Right back where you started. Again. Okay, it's not changing anything. Again. Okay, I don't think this is the answer. All right. Yeah, we tried. So that's the important part, is we did try 4 times. Your coffee, Mom. So, what was behind the door you opened earlier? We got interrupted, but you seemed exhausted, almost resigned. Resigned. That's an odd way of putting it. Now, exhausted. Yeah, you could say that. The disappointment of your discovery had weighed on you heavily. Even now, just the thought of it makes your shoulders sink. So this lead was a dead end then? No, I wouldn't say that. I've never seen it before. Somewhere deep down inside you, though, you question that conclusion. It's not. She's visibly surprised, but quickly recovers. Then, the dead end was the point. Perhaps. I feel like there's a lot of subtext going on, and I'm hoping that I'm catching all of it. But I feel like I'm not, especially since we stumbled onto that one ending already. It's making me feel like maybe this was supposed to come before that one ending, but does that mean that we did the wrong thing in getting our one ending? Were we supposed to see this and then the one ending? Or was it always supposed to play like this, where we saw that ending and then we came back and we saw this because there was more to the story than him just having to apologize to his daughter or make things right with his daughter? I don't know. But then we saw that post-credit scene. That to me seemed like a really good wrap-up. Maybe we did things out of order. But how do we get here specifically? That thought does not lift your spirits. Do you remember anything else about what you saw when you went through that door? You mull it over, thinking carefully. And you find yourself right back there, in front of the door. The sun is bearing down on you overhead. You feel like you've been walking for hours on end, and the door in front of you is all that separates you from. You open the door and step through. And you're right back where you started. The sun is starting to fall in the sky, giving off an orangish hue. How long have you been at this exactly? Your legs ache with more miles still, but still this door stands in your way. You open the door and step through. And you're right back where you started. The sun is set now, but you're still here. You listen for the voices behind the door, but they've grown quiet. They're slowly fading away. They're gone. You reach out a hand to open the door, but you stop yourself. Deep down, you know it's already too late. All you can do is turn and walk away. Not true. I can go back. I can go back. I can go back. I can go back. I can fix this. One more time. I've done it 3 times now. I probably cut that bit off. I've done it 3 times now. Nothing's changed. So maybe this isn't the answer either. Unless you want me to do 10 times. In which case, I hope the developer is watching and says, do this 10 times. Okay? All we can do is turn and walk away. Oh, you're ready to order now. As if on cue, that damn waiter is back. Interesting. I truly believe that we got the real ending and we just somehow skipped this scene and we were supposed to see this before we saw the ending that we got. Yeah. That's what I think. Either way, it's time to talk about Put It On My Tab on its page. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on that itch page for Put It On My Tab. Let's make sure we shout out the developer. You'll see it in the post-credit scene. Make sure you stay at the end of the video because we'll have the post-credit scene where you can see all the people who came together to make this really, really fun, enjoyable story. It says 16,000 words, approximately 20 to 30 minutes per playthrough. 6 total backstory options for you to recall. Wait a minute, 6 total backstory options. We saw 3, so we got the ending off of 2, and we needed 6. So that whole hack of rewinding was actually really a cheat, even though the options kept changing, which is what made me think that this was going to unlock a different story. That's not how we were supposed to get to the ending. That's interesting. That makes me want to go back and see what the other 3 stories are. Ending, it says there's 1 generally bad ending and then 1 good ending per backstory, plus a true ending to uncover. Well, I feel like our ending was pretty true. So maybe each time we saw a particular image, whether it was the museum or standing on the corner or the house, there is an option to what we were supposed to regret. And if we pick the right option, we get a different ending. 1 good, 1 bad. Oh, that makes for 12 endings. We saw 1. Holy hell. That's a lot. Don't know if I'll do a whole video on that, but I do want to see at least 1 more. Don Patapon? Is that it? Oh yeah, it is. Don Patapon. Which makes me think of the show that we're watching, Don. This was a lot of fun. If you can't tell, the fact that I want to go back and see the alternate endings or the 2 backstories to each scene, which is I think is what it was saying. I think it makes it pretty clear that I enjoy this game a whole lot. I think even though it's super simple in that there's 1 pretty much character you're seeing the entire time and then just a bunch of background locations, the story is so well written and so engaging that you don't mind it and you can do enough in your head to just kind of fill in the rest of the world. Speaking of that ending, based off what we just saw, that made me feel like he was in limbo and he had gotten into, I don't know, some kind of accident where he was kind of in between life and death. And him meeting this angel or whoever this deity is in this dining room is basically giving him a final chance to kind of admit his wrongs. And if he does it, she's allowed to send him back to try to rectify those mistakes. So, hey, can't promise she'll listen to you, but I'm going to give you this shot to go back to living. Try to make things right with your daughter. Give it your best shot. So that's what I got based off the ending we saw right there. Y'all let me know if y'all think something different. You know how to do that. You drop in the comment sections below. And if there's a game you want to see played, also drop in the comment sections below. Thank you all so much for joining me for this episode. Stay positive, y'all. Find your laughter in this world. Find people you love, people that love you back. Surround yourself with them. Focus on that right now. That's my final message. All right, I'll see you on the next video.